Okay, now when we press spacebar, we'll check, am I the bullet controller? So we can ask if I have that tag, and that's from sensing, myself has tag bullet controller. And if I do have that tag, then I'm going to create a clone. This block is from draw, create new instance of class. Create new instance of class. A class means a kind of object, and of that class you can have multiple instances, which are like the single objects of that class of objects. For example, the projectile class, when we go shoot out a lot of bullets, we could have multiple instances of that class. So let's get rid of this class block, because that's a variable that we haven't defined. We can just tell this to create a class, a new instance of class of itself. We'll go to sensing and we want class of myself. Now let's test that out to see if we can shoot multiple bullets. There we go. When we hit spacebar, we can shoot multiple bullets. Very cool. Now here's something we've got to keep in mind. If I press the debug button down here, we can see state members. That means how many objects are in the game. If I shoot a lot of these bullets out into nowhere, this number will just keep increasing. There's more and more objects that the game has to keep track of. We want to try to optimize how many objects we have in our game so that the game isn't keeping track of useless objects. So let's make these bullets destroy themselves after a certain amount of time. No point having them hanging around and slowing things down. So we'll go back into our script here, and let's say when I've shot myself out, I am then going to wait 5 seconds and destroy myself. So when does that happen? Well, shoot me away here. Let's say after 5 seconds, so that's from control flow. 100 milliseconds have passed. Let's put that down the bottom, change that to 5,000. Remember, 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. And then we'll check if I'm not the bullet controller, I'll destroy myself. So we need an if block from control flow, and then we want to check myself has tag bullet controller, so that's sensing. Myself has tag bullet controller, which is the same tag up here. If this is not true, so there's a couple of ways we could do that. We could go to operators and grab that not block. We could use that, or we could say if myself has tag bullet controller equals false. They do the same thing. So if I'm not the bullet controller, then I'll destroy myself. That's from control flow.